Yes. Welcome to show 409. I'm about half an hour late, so I do apologise. I got so into my running there that I completely was in the zone and didn't even realise what time it was. So I'm going to jump on now, and we're going to talk today about trying to cope and deal with everything and one all at once. Okay, trying to deal with everything all at once, where you're trying to dissect yourself right across everything that's going on in your life, i.e. people, work, responsibilities, stress, frustration, all of those things. How do we do it? How do we manage ourselves through it? So let's get on with it. Welcome to the Rise to Thrive show. I am your host, James Bourman. And if you are coming through, then please do let me know. So in the comments, let me know if you're struggling with trying to give or spread your time across, trying to do everything and everyone becomes quite exhausting for you, whether it's something that really kind of stresses you out. And I feel this, like, listen, I run a business, we've got lots of clients to look after. I've got 4 children to spread my time and energy across. I've got a wife that needs my time and energy. I've got friends that need my time and energy on my training, my own personal goals. And sometimes it just doesn't feel like there's enough time in a day, right? We just don't feel like we've got the energy. We don't feel like we've got the time. We don't know how to spread ourselves across, and it can feel like the weight of the world is on us, right? And sometimes all we want to do is just scream or curl up in a ball and disappear. But that's not what we're designed to do, is it? That's not what we're training to do within, like, this brand that we're trying to put out there. We're trying to build elite operators that can handle that, right? And I often think that awareness of the situation that's going on around you is probably one of the key fundamentals to changing that and coping better and having better structures, routines and systems in place so that you can spread yourself right across everything that's going on. And it can become quite chaotic, right? So the opposite of chaos is control. So if we're in this chaotic world, in this chaotic cycle, chaotic mentality, how can we bring control to that situation? Well, we can actually plan where our time and our energy and focus is going. So, for example, I went on a bit of a date with my big 2 kids. So it's kind of like planning in that time. Planning in when I'm going to have to do my key tasks within my business and my coaching roles. Planning in when I'm going to go to jiu-jitsu. Planning in when it's time for the wife. Planning in when it's time for kid time with the 2 youngest. Planning in when it's going out with the mates. So we kind of know where our time and our energy is going. I think that when we're trying to cuff the situation or cuff our time and energy, that's when it causes chaos. That's when it feels like, oh, I'm not giving enough to this situation. I'm not trying to solve that problem. I'm not trying to deal with this. And we often turn to the biggest problem, to the biggest thing that's going on at that time, rather than managing ourselves well. So we can look at that self-awareness levels. We can then look at the control elements, and then we can kind of feel like the progression elements. So when we feel progression, it strips frustration away from our mentality and our mindset. So when we have progression, it can be as simple as marginal gains, 1% gains. So moving forwards with a business project or a side hustle, moving forwards with your relationship. And the only way that we're going to do that is if we're in a controlled state, of mind, rather than that chaotic, frantic mentality. And then the last one is really building clarity about where your time, energy and focus is going right across the different people, right across the different projects that you've got going on within your life. And as soon as we can nail that down, as soon as we can get perspective, see the bigger picture, we can then spread our time across all the people that we need to. We can then balance out all of the responsibility that we're carrying on our shoulders, and we can handle it better. Because I think a lot of stress, a lot of mental health, a low emotional conditioning, physical conditioning, all buckles when we suddenly feel like, man, I'm spread thin. I am spread thin here. I'm trying to give everybody a bit of my time. I'm trying to find a bit of time for myself. I'm trying to achieve this task and that task. And the elite operator mentality in us, the elite high performance level that we're trying to achieve, is one that's in control, that feels progression, and that gains clarity on what they're trying to achieve, right? So what I want you to do, to think when you're moving forwards and you feel overwhelmed and you feel pressured and you feel that responsibility, is, man, take the knee. Learn to take the knee. This is something I implemented years ago. And when you take the knee, it's like taking a deep breath, composing yourself, getting perspective, finding your bearings, and then going, dude, how do I find control in this mess? How do I regain my composure in this frustrating Boardman, come on, time, okay? How do I reduce anxiety by finding more clarity about what's going on? And instead of still trying to push through like a juggernaut, taking a knee, taking a breath, composing yourself is a really great tool, is a really great mentality to make a better decision. So that actually you feel less stress and you feel less like under pressure mentally, and you can think clearer and make better decisions. And I think a lot of people are going through this right now. And I just want to dedicate this one to one of my best mates, Rob, who is probably going through something like this right now. So he, I think, wanted just to have a rant with me last night, and I thought I'm going to do him a video that's specific to his situation, but he won't be the only one, okay? I sometimes feel like, Jesus Christ, like I need to get on with this work. Like I've given loads of time to everyone else. I just need an hour and a half or 2 hours to be able to crack on, or vice versa, right? I've been giving everything into the business. I need to make sure I'm spending time. So control measures, progression, and clarity of what's going on. Take the knee, gain perspective, make the right decisions, stop going round in circles in terms of that chaos of cycle. All right, guys, sorry it's late. I just was completely in the zone in the run-in and just went, oh, it's Wednesday. I should have been live 20 minutes ago. Anyway, have an amazing day. Better late than never, eh?